What is up, Light Fam? It is David, your spiritual awakening coach, here to help you through your spiritual awakening. After the success of my last video, 3 Signs the Universe Wants to Level You Up, Part 1, which you can go watch right here, I figured it was time to do a Part 2 because there are definitely more than just 3 signs that the universe is trying to level you up. So let's jump into 3 Signs the Universe is Trying to Level You Up, Part 2, right now. Lag out. 3 signs the universe wants to level you up. Number 1, the universe is intensifying the triggers of that unhealed trauma that is keeping you from living your life purpose. The universe intensifies this unhealed trauma to force you to heal it. Humans love to bypass being uncomfortable. They love to bypass pain, which is why the shadow grows. We repress what we don't want to face, repress what we're scared of, repress what is painful. But you get to a point on your timeline where it's time to grow. It's time to get to that next level. What's keeping you from living your life purpose? Most likely fear. Well, guess what's in alignment with fear? Unhealed trauma. Unhealed trauma is in alignment with fear in one way or the other. Fear of not being good enough, fear of being abandoned, fear of not being worthy. Whatever it is, that fear is keeping you from living your life purpose. On the other side of fear is freedom. So healing that unhealed trauma gives you that freedom. So if you're feeling trapped or imprisoned by your current circumstances, there's typically some fear that you need to heal to get to your freedom. Well, how do you heal that fear? You're typically going to need to go back in childhood, find the root of that unhealed trauma, do some shadow work, and then you can heal the perspective of you that believes that you're not whole, perfect, and complete. Now, most of us were not raised believing that we're whole, perfect, and complete, mostly because of religious indoctrination. But if we understand that we're a fractal of source consciousness, and source is whole, perfect, and complete, that means our spiritual DNA is whole, perfect, and complete. It's only the ego that makes us believe that we're not whole, perfect, and complete, which usually stems from childhood events. So the universe is going to intensify the triggers of that unhealed trauma to force you to heal it so that you can start living the life that you always intended, the life that's in alignment with your heart, that you always intended to live before you decided to incarnate. 3 signs the universe wants to level you up. Number 2, you're being bombarded by these signs and synchronicities of that new life that your heart wants you to live. Remember, the compass of your heart is always pointed towards the reason you decided to incarnate. It's always pointed toward your life purpose. Now, typically our ego will make us go in a different direction. That's usually what happens, but that's okay. The universe is like a big GPS system. It's always going to try to reroute you. It's going to give you more opportunities to take that right turn or make that U-turn that does put you on the track to your life's purpose. So I always like to say, what do the signs say? It's my favorite thing to say. No matter what the physical appearances to the contrary look like, what do the signs say? The signs are a vibrational match to what you're in alignment to experience, always. So anytime you see the signs and synchronicities, that's what you're in alignment to experience in the physical. That's the law. That's a reflection of what is inside. So don't pay so much attention to the physical appearances to the contrary, because those physical appearances are typically manifestations of previous thoughts that may have been out of alignment. Okay, so maybe in the past you had some thoughts that came from scarcity or fear or anxiousness or whatever, and they produced some manifestations that were in that frequency. But your core frequency, you've been doing the shadow work, you've been meditating, you've been keeping your eye on the prize of that new life that you want. Well, if those are the signs that you're seeing, you can trust that because that's a vibrational match to what you're in alignment to experience. So you don't have to pay attention to the physical appearances to the contrary. It's only when you do focus on the physical appearances to the contrary, because energy flows where attention goes. If you focus on the fear, you focus on the appearances to the contrary, you're going to get out of vibrational alignment with the signs of that new life. And now you're going to start matching with what you don't want to experience. So my favorite thing to say is, what do the signs say? If the signs say that you are vibrationally aligned to experience that new life, then that's what it is. You stay focused on that and you will experience it. Now, before we get on to the third sign the universe wants to level you up, if you are finding value in this content, please smash that subscribe button, slap that notification bell. It lets the algorithm know that you love me as much as I love you. Let's get this message of empowerment out to the masses, y'all. All right, back to the video. And the third sign the universe wants to level you up is you are constantly being presented with new and different schools of spiritual teaching, which are meant to show you how to create the reality that you actually want to experience. You see, there's a lot of man-made fear-based paradigms that keep people imprisoned in a mental prison of fear. Fear is the bipolar opposite frequency of the dominant frequency of Source, God, which is love. So when you're in that fear frequency, you're in a closed off state of resistance, stagnation, frustration. You're not moving. The universe is all about expansion. That is an open, receptive, expanding frequency, which is more in alignment with the love frequency of Source. So once you understand that you didn't incarnate to stay imprisoned in a mental prison of fear, you incarnated to step into your true essence as an all-powerful eternal being having a physical experience, then you start to get an inner concept of your own wholeness, completeness, and perfection. And then that instantly becomes a vibrational match to everything that you experience in your physical life. And so these different esoteric schools of spiritual teaching, they all have different tools that you can use to step into your true source self and see through the 3D illusion, the 3D Maya, which the ego tries to tell you that you're not whole, you're not perfect, you're not complete. We know different because you're a fractal of Source, and Source is all of these things. So this is what true spirituality is all about. It's all about stepping into spiritual sovereignty and spiritually maturing. I hope these 3 signs the universe wants to level you up part 2 has provided a little bit of clarity for you on your spiritual path. Remember, if you have not seen 3 signs the universe wants to level you up part 1, it should be showing on the screen somewhere, right here, right there, somewhere. Click to see that, and I will see all of you guys in the next video. I love you. Namaste.